Well, welcome everyone to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. It is our midweek Oasis Wednesday night service, and it's Wednesday, October 26th. My name is Paul Pursuti, and I'll be your host tonight. I'm so glad you've decided to join us. We have a wonderful evening planned for you, and I say hello, church family. I'm really glad y'all came out because we have a special speaker tonight. Adore is the word that I use because she always brings something for me to take home, and I know you're going to also enjoy it as well. So why do we call it the Oasis? Because it's a place where we can be together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays, and we present our Wednesday night service in our version of satsang style, with the intention that these gatherings be informal, intimate, and rich. We have an annual theme from CSL, and that's Wonder, Wonder Everywhere. And our monthly theme, which we're ending tonight officially, this is the last official reverent service of the month, our Wednesday night service, is Living Everyday Wonder, focusing on finances, which we've been doing all month of October. So after 2 years of not much happening at the center, this month has brought an exploding amount of activity with our pledge drive, our senior minister candidate presentations, offers to manifest more money, and so much more. So Constance told me to say, hold on to your hat and let's flow with this energy. So I start out with lots of energy tonight. I welcome you if you're joining us for the first time or joining us again after a long period of time. Make sure that you continue to visit our homepage, where we also have a place where you can sign up for our Village News newsletter. That newsletter has all the information on what is happening at the center in the coming week. So if you click on the I'm New icon and look at the lower left-hand corner of that page, you can submit your email address, and that way you can begin receiving the Village News newsletter conveniently in your inbox every week. If you haven't done it already, we ask that you mute your camera and your microphone at this time. That will help improve the quality of the transmission. And please stay tuned for special and important announcements. We have some additional ministerial seeking information that we'll be sharing with you during the announcements. So I said we had a fabulous, fantastic speaker tonight. It's practitioner Judith Roberts. I just always look forward to her Wednesday night presentation. They're so polished, and she brings a little technical with her along the way, and you'll get to see all of that in a little bit. Her topic for the night is Sherrit Ferret, do take a slice of my pie. And I can't wait to hear how she's going to share pie over Zoom. So it's going to be interesting and fun and completely knowledgeable. We'll gain something, I'm sure. So with that, Judith, I'm going to turn it over to the program over to you, and I'm going to ask you to open us up in prayer.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. So let's take a breath together. Knowing that this is the breath of life, this is the breath of creation, and that this breath has within it all of the good of God, that goodness, that kindness, that love is within the breath, within us, and all around us. It is everywhere. It is omniscient and omnipresent. It is the spark of life, the thing that makes us tick, the thing that makes us alive. And so I know that presence is right here, right now, this evening, and that it guides this service, And that everybody who attends tonight and everybody who attends online later to watch the recording, is here by divine appointment, is following an inner call, is answering an inner call, and that each person receives what they came to receive. That they are deepened, they are expanded, they are leave with a little more peace and a little more clarity. And I give thanks for this and for everybody who's participating in this service in any way. All of the people that are working behind the scenes, and for Paul who's facilitating, and everybody comes together to make this possible. And so with great gratitude, I give thanks and I say, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen.
So thank you all for being here. Our topic today is, it's an interesting one. I was assigned this topic, and it's, as Paul said, it's called Share It, Ferret, Do Take a Piece of My Pie. Before I go into the talk today, I want to dedicate this talk to my sister-in-law, Barbara Roberts, and I think Helene has a slide for us. Barbara and I were great traveling companions, and she was my sister-in-law, married to my brother, who passed away in 2006, but very much a part of my family all these years. And this was a picture from the last trip we took together, which was to Las Vegas and the Grand Canyon back in April of this year. I always invited Barbara to attend the Wednesday night talks when I was speaking, and she always did. You may remember her. She also participated, she contributed, and she always had something to say, something to offer, and she enjoyed these very much, and I enjoyed her being here. And on September 10th, she passed away from COVID at 73. And she had comorbidity. She had been in chemo for, I think, leukemia, but she was in remission. And then at the end of June, she got COVID, and it turned into long COVID, and it turned into pneumonia. And she couldn't take in enough oxygen. She couldn't take in enough air. So Barbara is no longer with us, but here in spirit. And I want to take this moment to bless her on her way, on her journey, wherever she is, knowing that her spirit is exactly where it needs to be, that she is on her next step of evolution. And I know that all is well. She was a beautiful being, and she lived a beautiful, full life, and followed her passion. She was a wonderful example of living a good life. So thank you all. And I dedicate this to Barbara. And Helene, we can move on now. Thank you. Thank you very much. What a sweet, sweet present she was. And we're all going to cross that threshold. You know, sometime it's a little sobering, and yet it's just life. It's just the way it is. And we bless her on her journey. So as Paul said, our monthly theme is everyday wonder, and we're focusing on finances. And with finances, you know, there's three aspects to finance and to prosperity and abundance. There's the receiving, there's the assimilation or the integrating, or I guess we could even say absorbing. And then there's the releasing. And when we release, there's two aspects of releasing. And I'm referring to some notes here because I'm saying this earlier than I was intending to, but it fits in here. That when we release the finances or the the abundance that comes to us in terms of money, we can release it through spending, and we can release it through giving or donating or tithing to create greater good in the world without any expectation of return. And I'm sure we've all experienced that, and what, that something comes back to us when we release without any expectation of return. And when we live in fear about money, we constrict the flow. We constrict the flow of money. And I'm reminded, in talking about constriction, the title of the book, I listened to Mary Trump's book that was called Too Much and Not Enough. And it was about her brother, about Donald Trump. But I love the title because I know people like this. I know people that have had so much, that have been very, very abundant in their resources, and yet lived in a sense of not enough, in frugality consciousness. And you probably know people like that too. And maybe you've experienced it yourself. I know that I have at times also, where I've had plenty, but somehow I slip into that consciousness of where, constriction. And it's just something that happens in our minds, and it's not necessary, because we live in an abundant universe, and the universe is always giving. It's all, nature is always giving. And I know that an example of this consciousness of constriction is that I've heard about some people that they set a trap for monkeys. And maybe it was just like there were too many in the city and they wanted to trap them and remove them to the jungle, something like that. Or maybe they were trapping them for food. I don't know the circumstances, but they created this trap where they would have this metal cage that they would have, and they would put and the cage would be locked down somehow, and they put a hole in it, and that would just be big enough for the monkey's hand to fit through the hole. And then inside there would be, say, an apple or an orange, something that the monkey wanted. And they'd reach their hand in and grab the apple, but then they couldn't pull their hand out if they were holding on to the apple, because the hole was too small. And yet they wouldn't let go of the apple. And so that's how they got captured. They just would not let go. All they had to do was release, and they could have pulled themselves out and run away, but they wouldn't release. So that was very clever of somebody to develop a trap like that, or a cage like that. But we do the same thing sometimes. We hold on to something so tightly, and our whatever it is, our possessions, or it's just a feeling inside that we don't relax enough to let the good come in, even though it's like the good is coming, but it goes around us because we're not able to open up and receive it. And yet it's always there. And when we live in with a healthy love of money and trust in the source, the flow is easy and natural. There are many very wealthy people who continually give. They just give and give and give and give, and the flow keeps coming. It comes in and it goes out. It comes in and it goes out. And I know people who are not wealthy that do the same thing, that there's just this sense of that there's always enough, even though they don't have much. And I've noticed when I'm traveling and I'm in poor countries, I've been hosted many times by people in other countries who didn't have much at all. One time was in Tonga and also in Ecuador, but whatever they had, they offered. And it was just such a delightful thing. There wasn't a sense of, well, I don't have enough to give to somebody else. There's a sense that there's always enough. And it's really a lovely thing. So it doesn't have to do, the flow doesn't have to do with whether we have a lot or whether we have a little. I also learned a lot about this from my ex-husband who, when he first came to this country, he hardly had any money. And he was educated, but he, initially he was, you know, he got really crummy jobs in the beginning. And yet he just had this dignity. And when he would buy something, he always dressed beautifully. Everything was quality with him, even when he didn't have much money. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, if I don't know how to manage a little money, I won't know how to manage a lot of money. And he would pick things out to buy that were really high quality and put them on layaway and just pay a little bit at a time until he could purchase them. And then he had something really nice that was good quality and would last a long time. And that was just a beautiful example to me of an abundant consciousness with somebody who really didn't have much. And then, yeah, we know very wealthy people also. Some of them just give and give and give. I remember seeing an interview with William Buffett and Bill Gates, and they both said they didn't believe in intergenerational wealth. And so they were putting their wealth into, you know, a nonprofit. Bill and Melinda Gates created I think it was the World Health Organization. I'm not sure if I'm getting the name right, but it was to deal with issues of world health. And then William Buffett had a lot of money. He didn't want to leave it all to his family or his kids. And so he looked for a long time, researched a long time for a nonprofit that he could donate his money to. And he picked the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and he donated $30 billion to them, which doubled their assets, their resources for that organization. And it was just such a beautiful example to me of somebody having a lot and giving a lot, because we know there are people who have a lot and hold on tight to it. And it you know, it's just a completely different consciousness. So with this title of share it, ferret, and do take a piece of my pie, the share it part, I understand. Whatever I have, I can share as much as I'm comfortable with, or even stretch myself a little bit and share even more. The ferret part, FAIRIT, I'm not quite sure what that means, but do take a piece of my pie. I do understand. And that's that if I have more, if I can offer something, if I have more that I can give, then I can give it. And if you need something or you want something that I have, please do take a piece of my pie, because I can give it to you. I have that to give. I love that. I love that part of the title. Do take a piece of my pie. We give when we're tithing, you know, we say we give of our time, our treasure, and our talent. Doesn't have to be money. We just offer. We offer what we can, and the flow, you know, when we offer, the flow comes back. That's what I've noticed in my life. It just, and sometimes it comes back in ways I don't expect at all. And sometimes I kind of look at like, well, how is life going to surprise me today? How is life going to surprise me today? Because sometimes there's something that comes to me that's, as I just said, totally unexpected, but it's just the flow. And what I realize is that when we can be in that flow, when we can let go and be and trust, there's so much trust involved here, faith in the universe, because the universe is abundant and nature is abundant. And I think about, you know, an example in nature is an apple, that you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you can't count the number of apple trees in a seed. And you think about that, a seed being planted, and then a tree grows, and then there's hundreds of apples, seasons after seasons, and then all the seeds in those apples. And that's just from one seed. And then we look at this immense nature constantly reproducing itself. And it's really amazing at the continual a cycle of nature. It's very inspiring. And I think if we take a good look at it, we can take a lot of lessons from it, from nature. Let me see what time it is. Okay. So what I would like to do right now is break us up into breakout rooms with 2 people in each room and address somebody wrote a note, Freya did, in the chat, saying Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation set an example for other wealthy people. They certainly do. So right now I'm going to put 2 questions in the chat, or 3 actually, and I'm going to copy them from the chat and then repost them because I don't think all of you saw them earlier. So let me do this. And then I'm going to ask you to get into, we're going to put you in groups of 2. And then we're going to take 5 minutes each on these questions. So just bear with me for a minute here. Okay, that's the second question. And then the third question, let's see here. Okay. Third question. I'm going to read them out loud to you, and then you can go into chat and look at them. Okay, so I think we have them all here now. Or maybe we don't. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, how thoroughly do I trust the flow of the universe? Do my finances, these are kind of two questions together. Do my finances reflect a deep awareness of my oneness with the infinite abundance? The second question is to just share with your partner one demonstration of abundance in your life, of the flow of abundance in your life. And then the third one is that this is an action item. What step will I take this week? Oh, it says eek, but this week to expand any areas of constriction. So you have 5 minutes and you can talk about whichever of those you want to spend the most time on, but we are going to share afterwards. And the one, if you need to select and you don't have enough time for all 3, I'd really like you all to answer the first one about how thoroughly do I trust. This is kind of a really introspective digging question. So, okay, let's go into the breakout rooms now.
Okay.
Hey, hi there.
Hey, is everybody back?
Yeah.
Kind of looks like it.
Hi,
Linda,
Linda.
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of that story, but I guess it was to be meant for another day.
Thank you,
What-
Alice.
Was
We're
it
good.
a demonstration story, Bunny?
Thank you, Paul.
It probably was.
You have so many great ones. Well, welcome back, everyone. I wanted to just open it up now for sharing on any of these 3 questions. I kind of wanted to focus on how thoroughly do I trust in the flow of the divine universe, and do my finances reflect a deep awareness of my oneness with the infinite abundance? Because I think this is something we can keep looking at over and over again. And I don't want to limit it to that. I want to invite you to share anything you would like to from your conversation about these 3 questions. Maybe one person, well, no, just anyone who would like to share. If you can raise your hand,
Raise your hand or use your virtual reaction
your,
hand.
your virtual reaction hand.
My virtual reaction hand is raised, but I'm not acknowledged.
Oh,
Oh, and I see.
oh, I didn't. Yeah, go ahead, Bonnie.
Reverend Jerry's hand is raised. Yeah, Bonnie, go ahead, and then Reverend Jerry.
I'll just give a quick demonstration of trust. You all know that a couple years ago, I moved to Europe, but it was pretty much a forced move. The landlord was selling the house. And at that point, you know, back in that day, it was like, it would sell for $1 million. He offered me to buy it. And it's like, well, thanks, but no thanks. And so I was just, oh my gosh, you know, to move, especially in the Bay Area, you know, first and last is like a small deposit, a small down payment on a house. And so, but I didn't worry. I just went ahead and made plans that I was just going to move to Europe and that would be it. And do you know, a friend came for dinner and said, oh, you know, your landlord has to pay you to move. It's like, no, he did. He had to pay, like, I'll say it was like $14,000 for me to move. Now that isn't a demonstration. I went to Europe with ease and thanked him, thanked him all the way over that I could, that a way was made. And that is trust in the divine. I went ahead with my plans as if it's like, I don't know how this is going to work, but it's going to work. And so anyway, that's my demonstration.
Yeah, that's an awesome one, Bonnie. Thank you so much for sharing that. I had forgotten that. I
Thank you,
remember
Bonnie.
you told me once, but I forgot about that one. That was awesome. Totally unexpected, right?
Yeah.
I think of it as a wink, wink from
Trusting.
the, yeah, wink, wink from the universe. Like, hey, you know, we've got it handled.
And when you have something like that happen, you know, faith is built on past experiences. So what do you think that did with my faith, where it elevated it to, and where I am with that now, with complete trust and faith. So thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Great. Jerry?
Reverend Jerry.
I love that story, Bonnie. Thank you for sharing. That's great. And I know you've heard my story over and over again, but I'm just going to keep sharing it because it's such a great demonstration for me of, you know, having something on the market and being let down because it fell through. And it fell through because the universe said yes to a dollar amount we said we wanted, and we decided to counteroffer. And so it slipped away. But instead of going into, you know, blame and shame, I went into there's something better happening here. And so that is my motto. There's always something better happening, even when it doesn't feel, you know, like it unfolded the way it should have. There's always something better happening, and that is happening, and that has, you know, a better opportunity for buyers who are the perfect fit. Being patient because they need more time to really get their financing together, and the escrow will close in the middle of November, and it's closing for a substantial amount more than we originally put into the universe that we wanted. So it's holding that faith. It's knowing there's some divine intervention taking place here, and the fact that the universe said yes, and then the universe said yes again to even a higher amount. That to me is like a total faith builder, in knowing that we're always cared for. There's always something better for our highest good. So the fact that the first offer fell through, and then there was another one in between that actually didn't pan out, and it was all in perfect divine order. So I'm living in that place for sure. Thank you for the great topic too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love hearing these stories. They're so, you know, they lift all of us up, you know? Yeah. Anyone else want to share a demonstration or anything around this whole discussion?
Constance, go ahead.
Well, I'm not going to share a demonstration right now. Well, I am going to share. It's a demonstration of something different. Is it the importance of the feeling in the body and in the mind? It's not just the belief, but talk about how deeply. Well, I took the Manifest More Money class, and one of the things I loved about it was that I really got into that feeling tone of abundance. And at the same time that I was taking it, I use a budgeting software, and I realized the budgeting software was off, and I had to redo my budget, and I wasn't upset about it. I just thought, okay, I've got to do it and start fresh. But what's happening now, what's going on now is that it's like I got that wonderful feeling of abundance, and I've been living it because with the budgeting software, I never worried about, I always knew that I had money there for what I needed. And then when I had to redo the budget, it was that I didn't have as much as I thought I did. So now what I'm dealing with is, even though I know it's fake and it's false, it's a false belief, I'm dealing with the feeling of scarcity. And I just sort of have to keep laughing at myself and going, yes, thank you, but that's not the case. And then I have to consciously look for the good, because all these old beliefs are coming back up again. And I know that this too shall pass, and that in fact what it means is that I'm going to have a better sense of my abundance when I get through this. But that it's a growth period. But it's not one of the fun ones, it's not like the fun demonstrations. It's another kind of demonstration of cleaning out the old stuff.
Yeah, and that's important, that witnessing of our thoughts, and then being able to see it, being able to see it and have it come up, and then and then work with it and say thank you for sharing, and let them clear out. But yeah, it is a process, and it's yeah, thank you for that, Constance, because I think we all experience that at times. It's just happens. So that's important too for us to look at also. Thank you.
Great. Linda, go ahead.
Well, I had an interesting night last night because I was up fretting because I forgot the flow of the universe is abundant and that there's always enough. I got freaked out by listening to somebody on the news talking about if a certain political party gets in power, we're going to lose Social Security and Medicare. And he was very clear that that's been stated by that party and that it's going to happen. And I hope he's wrong. But anyway, what that did is spin me out, because I'm just starting to collect those things and feel a sense of abundance over that, and a sense of not so much abundance, but security. That is something that I have had to work on before, like really believe in, as we're talking about today, and really trust. But all of a sudden I was put in a position where I don't have to really work so hard to trust it, because look, I've got this flow and it's going to come in for the rest of my life. So I thought, whether it's real or not, I don't know, but I'm so amused by what happened today, because I spent all night worrying about this, literally, and knowing I have to shift it. So first of all, I get the invitation from Judith to come tonight to remind me of what's real. And thank you, Judith. But also, I got a call from my longtime boss. And the thing is that I had walked away from our client. I had a client for 12 years through this company that I didn't want to have anymore. I just was tired of it, and they were kind of tired of us. So I chose to say, okay, let's let it go. And I didn't have anything that I was going to, and that was scary for me. But anyway, long story short, my bosses started to utilize me in a whole different way at a higher level with more money. And I'm like, this just came out of nowhere. For years that hasn't happened. And today was the first time ever he actually complimented my work, like, and complimented me. And it was like, you're really smart. You're a great writer, blah, 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 more and more and more. And I'm like, what? Who's talking? I've never heard that from him. And it was so amazing. And I realized that's abundance also. I mean, that's given me a huge shot of confidence. And so it's just funny how it works out, you know, and the universe is trying to tell me, you are okay. You know, no matter what happens, you're going to just be fine. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be reminded of that, and to know the truth. So thank you, Judith.
You're
Right.
welcome, Linda. And
Right.
thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Linda. Did you have something else, Jerry? You had your hand up.
Actually, I was clapping for Linda. It's so nice. To see her. I was clapping, but what kept coming across that I say often, and I always share with people when we're talking about abundance stories, is that whatever it is that's happening, this or something greater, this or something better, this or something more, because there's such an array, such an abundance of the universe that we can always claim our good in more, more of the good stuff. So that kept coming up for me as Linda was speaking. So
Great.
great
Thank you.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Would anyone else like to share?
And can I just add something?
Sure.
Because Linda and I were in the breakout room together. And she was talking about, you know, allowing that fear to spin her out. I think those were her words. And I'll keep it in the eye. But sometimes for me, I have to allow that spinning out to happen. I have to, what I call, wear out the emotion of it. And as I do that, that's what brings me back to what's true. To go ahead, lean into it, allow that to happen, and to realize that is just not the truth. I just play the scenario. I let it have its way with me, is what I call it. I wear that emotion out, and then I'm able to replace it with the truth. But when I go, no, 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 that's not true. That's not true. No, 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 that's not true. It's like in some way denying it versus allowing it to have its place, to give its message. And usually it's about getting back to the truth. So I just wanted to add that to it, that for me, sometimes just go down the rabbit hole with it. And then I'm able to pull myself out of that, or the truth is at the bottom of the rabbit hole.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah.
Great.
Oh. I think I'll share one demonstration. I don't think I've shared this here before. And it's a short one. And it happened a while back, but it's such a magical story. I had recently moved to the Bay Area, and I had a degree. I'd studied speech communications training and development, and I had decided I wanted to go into diversity training. I had no experience. And it was a number of years before I didn't know how to make the transition. But I kept trying. I kept looking and trying different things. I moved to the Bay Area and I thought I'd try again. So I looked, this was a long time ago. So I looked in the yellow pages back then, you know, because we weren't all on the internet. Internet wasn't what we used all the time. And I found a section for recruiters in the yellow pages. And I found a name of a company I liked, and it was called Empower Perspectives. And they were recruiters, so I called them up and I introduced myself and I said, you know, I'm looking to move into diversity training, and I wondered if you recruit for trainers. And they said, no, we don't. They put us in the wrong section of the yellow pages. And I said, well, are you recruiters? And they said, no, we're not. And I said, well, what do you do? And they said, we're diversity trainers. And literally, they said, we're diversity trainers. And I said, so we talked a little more and they interviewed me. And it turned out they had quite a team. They had a team of 8 or 10 people. They were looking for one more white woman. They had one white woman. They wanted one more white woman. And they also wanted somebody who was a little older, which I was at the time, older than most of their team. So I fit exactly what they were looking for, but I had no experience. So they interviewed me, hired me, and trained me. And I went on, that's how I got my feet wet into diversity training and training in general. And it was just it was like one of those wink winks, from the universe, like, oh, they put us in the wrong section of the yellow pages. I think that's like another miracle story. So anyway, I'm going to conclude with that. Well, I'd like to now, because we are running out of time, I'd like to offer there's 2 things I'd like to do. One thing I was thinking about sharing tonight, but now I don't think we have time, but you're probably familiar with the book, The Prophet, and there's a beautiful chapter on giving. And I would like to recommend that if you have the book or have the time, or even you can find it online, read the section on giving by Khalil Gibran. It's really, really beautiful. And he talks about all the natures of giving and the ways that we give and where we give from. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is an affirmation that I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to invite you to say it together with me, whether you're muted or not. You can say it with me. And the affirmation is, I trust and live in the infinite flow of abundant good. I trust and live in the infinite flow of abundant good. And so I want to thank you all for attending tonight and sharing your demonstrations and stories, which are always so inspiring. And I want to turn it back over to Paul now.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing abundance to our forefront tonight. Thank you. I feel bad for the poor monkey. I don't want to be the monkey stuck in the trap. That's my nugget.
I have to go.
Okay, Bonnie, see you.
Bye, Bonnie.
I love you guys. Beautiful
All right.
topic. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you for that, Judith. Let's show our appreciation, everybody, if you will, to Judith. Thank you, darling, so much.
Thank you.
I always get something, I told you, and that's what I'm taking home. Anyways, but then we have some announcements. We have a lot of things going on today and this week and this month. So when you're ready, Miss Helene, here we go. This Sunday, October 30th, practitioner Chantel Rolfing and Christopher Brown will be sharing their own spin on giving and receiving. Please join us in person with meditation at 10 and the service at 10:30. We also stream our Sunday service live and directly to YouTube, and the link is on the homepage of our website if you choose to watch the service from home. Next Wednesday, November 2nd, practitioner Regina Buckwalter will present ideas on There's No Place Like Home, meditation at 6:30 and service at 7. Wednesday night services will remain on Zoom. You received an email recently about the fabulous Manifest More Money course starting from 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday, October 31st. Reverend Cheryl McCrary is here to tell us all about it herself. And by the way, she's just been appointed the new senior minister at the San Jose CSL.
I'm Reverend Cheryl McCreary, the creator and facilitator of Manifest More Money. You know, so many of our New Thought communities, our members are struggling right now about money. There's constant news of inflation, recession, gas prices, and it's easy to forget the truth. The truth is we live in an abundant universe. The truth is that unlimited abundance is our divine birthright. It's time to heal our relationship with money. If that's work you want to do, I invite you to join me in the online course, Manifest More Money. We're kicking off on October 31st. We are going to do a deep dive into spiritual practice and practical actions to help you bust through your money set point, to help you release old toxic money beliefs that are holding you back, to help you manifest more money with ease and grace, and to help you move into divine right relationship with money. If that sounds like work you want to do, I want you to join me on October 31st. Now, the good thing is your center has its own unique registration link, and I want you to use that link and that link only to register for this course. When you do, your center will receive a percentage of your registration fee. I am partnering with your center's profit sharing, so we all benefit. Listen, we're going to kick off on Mondays, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, starting October 31st for 5 Mondays. I hope you'll join me. I look forward to seeing you there. I will see you in Manifest More Money. Bye.
Wow, doesn't that sound fabulous, you guys? So check that out. I believe it's somewhere around our events page and should be in our
It's on the education classes page.
thank you. And I'm sure it'll show up in the newsletter as well. Are you interested in a Thanksgiving dinner at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living? Please fill out the short survey on the events page this week. We need your input and feedback to know whether to move forward with this event. There are 2 fabulous classes starting next week. On Tuesday, November 1st, join Reverend Catherine Sachs for her 5-week class, Writing from the Soul, where you will write as a spiritual practice, which will guide you to intimately touch the divine presence within. The cost is $150, and this class is from 6:30 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, November 5th, practitioner Constance Chapman will lead you to find your unique prosperity image and create a card to remind you of infinite abundance. The cost for My Prosperity card is $50, and the class is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Have you joined the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living Prosperity Galaxy yet? Our rocket is airborne with the power of 23 practitioners of science of mind and prosperity thinking. To get into orbit and for us to reach our destination, we need your pledge power. Your active participation in our annual pledge campaign is critical for our efficient planning of our financial budget for the next year. The program is simple. You complete a 2023 pledge card. When you do, you can put your name on a star if you wish, and add it to our Prosperity Galaxy display in the sanctuary. The more stars we have, the brighter our 2023 financial future will be. Click the donate icon on the home page of our website to be taken to the pledge campaign information and online pledge card. The Diversity Circle is holding their last meeting of 2022 on Saturday, October 29th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bring your lunch with your ideas for Diversity Circle speakers and events and meet in the courtyard. With the monthly theme of finances, our Spirit Treasure bookstore has an abundance of books and items symbolizing prosperity, as well as the books recommended by our senior minister candidates. Visit our bookstore after Sunday service until 12:30. The Board of Trustees has called a general meeting of all active members of the Oakland Center to explain and open the voting process for the office of senior minister. The meeting will take place via Zoom on Sunday, October 30th at 2:30 in the afternoon. Active members will receive a Zoom link later this week, so please attend. And always, for information on all that is going on at the Oakland Center, visit our website. Be sure to check out our events page. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. There's some pictures and job descriptions of folks that keep our center running. So if you're not receiving it already, sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Village News, by clicking on the I'm New icon on the homepage of our website, and you will see the sign up area on that page. The voting will be starting this Sunday. So right now we are holding the consciousness. Let's read the new minister's covenant together using fresh eyes and an open mind and a loving heart. Need a copy to read daily? You can download it from the homepage of the website. So take a breath with me and release it, and know that there is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to reveal spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by Spirit. For it is written, I am filled with divine wisdom. I allow divine mind to fill my mind now. If I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unity in the community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspiring unity in diversity, embracing and nourishing our community. I am awakening the wisdom within. I am healing and expanding our community with the power of love. I am engaging the community and building a world that works for everyone, and I am deepening family consciousness. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that illumines spirit and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Ashe. So in this moment of reverence, we move to our offering moment. So whatever that gift that you have, we talked about it tonight, time, treasure, and or talent that you bring to give to the center, and that which in turn gives to the world, and which in turn will be returned to you in multiple forms. Repeat with me as I read and follow along. God is lavish, unfailing abundance. I am lavish abundance. I give with joy and I receive with joy. And so it is. And Judith, who knows a little bit of Spanish, is going to read the Spanish version for us. Judith?
Dios es abundancia generoso y constante. Yo soy abundancia generosa. Doy con alegría y recibo con alegría. Y así es. Which is, and so it is.
And so it is. I agree. So as we release our gift, there's multiple ways to do that. However you want to. If you check on the donate button or the icon, some folks call it a meme, on our website, it'll show you the different ways: credit card, Zelle, writing a check, texting, or if you join us in person on Sunday, we have great offering baskets. They're large and ready to be filled with your donation. So we thank you and bless you for contributing to our center. It keeps everything going. This abundance idea and how you contribute at the center really, really is important. So we thank you so very much. There's a couple of things I want to thank folks for because they are all wonderful that make this Wednesday night service so special. First, our own Judith Roberts today for the meditation and speaking and our opening prayer and soon closing prayer. I want to thank Reverend Jerry for being here. When she can, she's always supporting Wednesday night service. So thank you so much, Reverend Jerry. Also, the Zoom team that's working so hard for us. Peter up in Portland, and Helene and Sabrina and Alice tonight. You guys are the best. As always, I thank Constance Chapman, our administration coordinator. She does all the business to make sure we have everything in place. And I give a shout out to my Zoe. He's not with us tonight, but he's always supporting me from wherever he is. So thank you, Zoe. I appreciate it very much. So with all of that in mind, we're going to end our evening tonight, and we're going to end it the way we start all of our gatherings at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and that's with prayer. And Judith, you're going to do that for us. So thank you, Judith.
Yeah, thank you. So just feeling that sense of abundance of the one, the sense of love and kindness and graciousness and expansiveness that is right here and right now, that is who each one of us is, that is within and without, that is enveloping us, and that is the truth of life, that is the truth of who we are, that we are that one, and that one is constantly with us, guiding, directing. And so I know that each person who is attending tonight and each person who attends later as they view this online, that each person is guided, guarded, and directed by that one, and that all is in divine right order, that each person is exactly where they need to be at the moment they need to be there, that each person is in divine right action, divine right speech, and divine right placement, and that all is well. And so I give thanks for all of the sharing tonight, all of the contributions, all of the opening, all of the wisdom, all of the insights, and all of the love that was shared here tonight. I give thanks for all of this and the more, and everybody who participated, knowing that all is well, knowing that each one is blessed. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.